So I've noticed in my videos that I've started doing this like sort of bouncing thing, and I'm just kind of moving. And as I'm watching my videos to edit them, I'm like, can you stop moving, chick? Please stop. And so I'm actively going to try to not bounce through this one. And yeah, while I'm not bouncing, you're gonna listen to an intro thing. But before we do that, hi, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You're at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And today, we are making a dual lye shave soap. Now, we've done a shave soap before on the channel, and that was a palm-free version. This time, we are actually doing a dual lye shave soap, so it's going to be, two lyes, dual. Potassium hydroxide as well as sodium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide is normally used for liquid soaps, whereas the sodium hydroxide is used for solid soaps. And I know we've done a shave soap in the past, but that was a completely palm-free shave soap. I'm going to show you today's recipe that has high amounts of stearic acid. In fact, it's like 85% of the recipe, which primarily comes from, if you're doing the vegan route, palm oil. So lots of stearic acid in this guy, so probably lots of palm. The biggest benefit of doing a dual lye for a shave soap that's long lasting and has good longevity, but also creates a really big, epic, creamy, mimicking a shaving cream soap lather. And that's what we're going for today. So let's go check it out. I'm actually showing you two different versions, two different batches. So cool. Try to keep up because I had a terrible time editing it, but let's go check it out. Okay, so today we are making dual lye shave soaps, and this is a hot process recipe. And before I've, only done cold process. I don't think I've done hot process yet on the channel. And holy crap, I'm just zooming right through this. So what I have in there is stearic acid, right? 45% of the oils are stearic acid, coconut oil. And then the oils that I have put in right there, we have castor oil and hemp seed oil and avocado oil. And that is all going to melt down. Now, while I am melting that down, I'm going to prepare the two lyes because, dual lye solution, two lyes. Yeah. Now, this particular recipe calls for a lot of water. And the reason I put so much water in is because this soap, I want it to be kind of fluid when I pour it. And actually during the pour, you're going to see two different versions of this soap, which will be kind of fun to watch. But for the water, there is a lot more water in this. It's like 5 times more water than the lyes that you put in, really. So a lot. And I'm going to start with the potassium hydroxide. Now, potassium hydroxide is normally used for liquid soap making. So it actually helps the oils kind of retain their fluidity, and it changes the way that saponification occurs, right? And so when you have your sodium hydroxide mixed with your water and your oils, it creates, saponification that results in what is, technically, chemically a salt in a solid bar form. And the liquid oils, it retains more of the fluidity. That's where you use potassium hydroxide. And yeah, but we are also going to be putting in the sodium hydroxide in addition to that. Now, I separate the two lye stages only because potassium hydroxide kind of freaks me out. I don't make a whole lot with liquid soaps, and potassium hydroxide is very interesting in that it makes really cool and scary. It can be cool and scary at the same time, kind of like hissing and popping sounds as it's being, sort of broken down in the water. And that's it's kind of intense. And so I always go ahead and dissolve my potassium hydroxide in water and then add my sodium hydroxide. I've never done it the other way, but I'm sure it's fine. I have no idea. But because of the extra water in this batch, the temperature is not going to get as hot as we normally see with a lye solution, right? Normally we see a lye solution that'll sit at like 180 to 200 degrees, and this guy, it's sitting, you know, about 112 degrees. It's not bad. It's reasonably cool. And it doesn't really matter because we can't use the lye solution until my oils are melted down. Now, stearic acid has a very high melting point, so it takes quite a while for the stearic acid. Oh, look at that. I even slowed that down for you. Look at the cool chemical reaction that happens when you put the lye solution into the oils there. It turns all gloppy and weird looking, and that's gross, and it's, yeah, isn't that wild? Now, my oils themselves right now are sitting at about 140 degrees in this crock pot, and I put the lye in at, about 100 degrees. And again, with a hot process recipe, it doesn't really matter. But what we are going to be doing here is mixing everything up and blending the, much like we do with cold process, right? We're going to essentially emulsify, but we're taking it a step farther with hot process, right? Because it's not just an emulsification and then it sort of hardens up and you wait 4 weeks for it to cure. The cool thing about hot process is you are cooking the lye out, so you are speeding up that saponification by a lot. So as with a cold process soap, you know, when it's fully cured and everything, it's gone through saponification, there's no more lye remaining in the bar if you have a well-formed recipe. And that's true of hot process as well, except that process happens right now in the pot. So technically speaking, the soaps are safe to use, you know, as soon as they firmed up. And that is one reason why there are so many hot process soapers out there, honestly, is because they can sort of control that extra variable of, is the lye, you know, cooked out. And also you don't have to wait nearly as long for the soaps to cure up, which is always great. Oh God. I am an absolute disaster. Like, okay, we're gonna switch to another stick blender. Yeah, that's pretty much an extension of my life, really. So anyway, we are going to continue mixing this until the graininess and the sort of like mashed potatoes look is gone and it's looking, you know, more smooth. It has a nice glossy finish to it, starting to kind of stick to the sides, like I guess kind of like a taffy, I suppose. It'll become more taffy-esque as it cooks, but we do want to make sure that all the graininess and everything is gone, which suggests we have a good blend between, you know, the oils and the lye solution. And then we're going to set this aside and let it cook for a while and check on it reasonably frequently. I check on mine every 5 minutes, and I'm going to actually show you 2 different batches of this, right? So you can see, yeah, that looks good. It's time to cook. So you can see what happens when you forget to check on your cold process or your hot process soap recipes, and it's fun. It's cool. You get to see them both. Isn't that exciting? So while this is going through its cook, I am going to prepare all the rest of the stuff that we're going to put in it. Now, obviously, we're going to be putting in our essential oil blend, and this particular one, this is a rosemary mint blend, just because I had a lot of rosemary and a lot of mint and not a lot of anything else. And so, yay, new shave soap recipe for, you know, the women's line. We're also going to put in 1 ounce of argan oil, and that will be in the oil stage as well as the color. And we're going to color this purple because I've never actually used purple in a hot process soap recipe, and so I want to see if it turns gray. And that's literally all that's as far as my thinking went. Now, about these shave soaps, right? Now, I started out with the stearic acid, right? And again, I said 45% of the total oils. And this entire recipe is super fatted to about a 10%. Now, the reason for using stearic acid in this high quantity, as well as using the potassium hydroxide instead of just sodium hydroxide, is because with the shave soap, you really want a beautiful lather that holds up on its own and creates, you know, it's nice and stable. It has, you know, some weight to it. It will sort of just stick around, whether you're using it with the bar itself or with a cool shave brush, you know, whatever. That will act as a sort of shaving cream to help guide you in your shaving. Now, since this sits on the skin for a while when you're shaving, be it, you know, legs or face or any other part of you, we also want to add a couple cool, you know, skin softener ingredients. So this is a sodium lactate, which is not actually a skin softener. This is actually to help the bar get harder because I have a lot of water in this, so it's kind of pourable when it's all said and done, right? And so the sodium lactate actually helps firm everything up. This is honeyquat. Now honeyquat is great. It softens hair, it also softens the skin, and it's a wonderful additive to put into the shave soap recipes because, okay, now we see what's going on here with the two different, you know, we got picture in picture going on. So the big one in the, you know, main screen here, that is properly formed soap that is ready to go and ready to put the additives in. It's ready, it's time to turn this bad boy down to warm and start doing the thing. The other side, I could actually start right there and go ahead and continue to, and I could put the additives in at that point, but I didn't do that with the one that's in the upper left-hand corner. I continued to let it cook. I forgot about it for like 15-20 minutes, and look how thick it is compared to, you know, the soap in the main screen here. This is still a reasonable consistency with the soap in the main screen, and the one in the upper left-hand corner, it's thick, and it is going to take so much work to incorporate any of the additives. So the scent and the sodium lactate and the honeyquat, everything. And it's going to be brutal. Full disclosure, both are brutal. Like, this is seriously a shoulder workout for me whenever I'm doing the shave soaps. So any sudser who has been in the shop and wondered why my shave bars are out of stock, well, the shave bars are really popular, and they take a lot of work. And so, yeah, I only do my shave bars on arm day, really. And luckily, I get double arm day today because I did 2 batches for you, so you can see the difference in how they sort of incorporate and do the thing. And yeah, I did speed both up quite a bit because it's a long process. It's a very long process. I mean, I am switching hands with this. I am, you know, because one arm gets tired and I have to move to the other, and I'm having to hold the crock pot, a hot crock pot, so it's not sliding all over the place. This is kind of labor intensive for soap. Like, it's surprisingly labor intensive. But the soap in the main screen, it's totally working better than the soap up there in the left-hand corner. Like, look at that. That's never going to fully mix in. No matter what I do, I can keep mixing it. It's not going to work. But, you know, the soap on the bottom, it looks good. That's nice. That's a really nice consistency. It's reasonably fluid, and it's still warm enough at this point that it's quasi-pourable. Now, when I say quasi-pourable, I still don't find it to be, you know, super pourable, but it's a nice taffy consistency. It's decent. I ultimately always end up spooning about half of the soap batter out and kind of slamming it into molds anyway, because it's not like cold process. It's really not. And you know, it's not my favorite thing to work with. But the shave soaps, when they're all said and done, are just extraordinary. So I would never change this recipe, you know, for anything. It's totally worth the pain, because the lather it's so good. It's so big and bubbly right away. It bubbles really well in your hands. It bubbles on your skin. It bubbles with a shave brush. I mean, whatever you're into. And yeah, as far as the actual performance of the soap, it's a slam dunk. So it's kind of worth the rather arduous task of getting it ready and into the molds. Now, the cook in and of itself, like, total time for this cook is, I would say, about an hour from when I put the stearic acid in and all the other oils and butters in to melt down to when I am ready to, you know, pour it into the molds. And that's not bad. It's really not bad. The hardest part is remembering to go check your crock pot, and I find that to be more difficult than it should be, I guess, because I am constantly getting really thick soaps. I am going to show you the lather differences between the soap that was super thick and those. So between the pink and the purple. So what we've made today is the purple is the rosemary mint, and yeah, it kind of went gray, so no purple in hot process. And the pink is the grapefruit blend. So this is a grapefruit mango blend for the summer line. And I am going to show you what they both look like, as well as how they both lather, even though, you know, the process of getting them into the containers was kind of different. Okay, it is test day. So we have 2 bars that have sat overnight, and you can see that there is a difference in texture between the two. The one that essentially I forgot about, and it got really thick, and it was very difficult to incorporate, you know, the extra additives and the sodium lactate and the honey quat and the extra oil, and the one that, you know, was easier. And we're going to check lather on both of these guys. Now, these bars are still reasonably soft, and in all actuality, they are not going to ever fully firm up to the point of, you know, you drop it on the floor and it doesn't dent the bar because of the extra water. There's just such a high water content in these guys. But as you can see, you know, just day 2, like right after this is, you know, been poured, the pink one still lathers reasonably well, but look at the purple. That is a beautiful lather. That's great. Like right off the bat, we are talking, you know, 5 seconds of manipulating the bar, and that's what you've got. That's awesome. Now, we are also going to test these with shaved brushes as well, because the formulation, this dual lye soap that I make for the women's shavers, I also use for the men's shavers. And there are a lot of, you know, wet shavers of the world, and I love using a brush. I do this in, you know, the shower when I'm shaving my legs, because look at that. It's such a beautiful lather. It works up into such an amazing foamy consistency that's easily spreadable, you know, on your legs and, you know, all the places to, oh, it's so lovely. It stands up on its own and just makes for a delightful shaving experience. So I personally use shave brushes. I don't know of a lot of women that do, but I'm all about it. And I did just want to show you that this is what you're also going to be getting when you know, have the men's shavers, the men's shave pucks as well. It's a very awesome, you know, lather that works up really easily and will hold up on its own for a very long time. And that is the big benefit of using a dual lye recipe for a shave soap, and using, you know, a recipe that has a lot of stearic acid in it, as well as that castor oil that's definitely helping sustain the lather and create a really, you know, epic foam essentially. And yeah, I love everything about these shave bars. But, you know, as you can see from the first test, you can get a really awesome lather just off the bar itself if you're just using it, you know, against your legs, against your skin, instead of, you know, actually using the shave brush. So, you know, either way works. And yeah, that's it. That's a day 56 dual lye shave soaps. And if you have any questions on any of the process or the recipe or anything, you know, feel free to leave comments below or send me a message, and I am happy to guide you through the steps. But there it is, and they are amazing. So the biggest problem with a dual lye shave soap for me is that it is in the crock pot, right? And I have a horrible time remembering to go back and check the crock pot. And so for the picture-in-picture that I showed you on, you know, the first batch, the pink batch, I forgot it existed. And as a result, it ended up much thicker and harder to work with than the purple version. But ultimately, when you look at the lather, they're very similar, especially when you're using the shave brush, right, to really create the awesome lather. They both lather phenomenally well. Now, these bars are 2 of the 4 that I have available in the women's shave line right now, and you can find them on the website at soapandplay.com. If you are interested in men's shavers, you can also find them there. That's in the heading for the guys. I also have cool like mug sets with the awesome, you know, shave brush and everything for the men's soaps too. So it's a cool gift idea, whatever. And yeah, that's kind of it for me today. And I am so glad that you know, are around for another round of 365 days of soap. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in more soapy antics, subscribe to the channel and hit the button thing, the word. That'd be cool. If you're interested in following me on social media, I'm there. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you have any soapy ideas, send them my way. I love playing with other people's designs and thought processes. And that will do it for me for today. I will see you guys tomorrow for another round of fun. Bye.